actors that don't mind killing people left and right. We also recently watched Deadpool 2.
Yeah, yes, we did. Which is actually really funny because Slade Wilson, Deathstroke, is the person who created Deadpool.
Well,
it's the same guy.
Well, yeah, like it's basically like it's
a parody, basically.
Yeah. Don't leave any comments that completely hates the Don at the moment. No, yeah, like it's.
I like if they know.
They know what you mean. Like, yeah, the parody character. And yeah, like to be honest, I really like this movie.
I really enjoyed it. I think it's my favorite. I think to me it's better than like
Infinity War.
Yeah, I think it's just because like it's more. I guess it's more personal. I guess it's more tighter in a sense where I'm like. It just has that. It has something what the first Deadpool has as well, where it's like it's very like simple in its approach and story, but like it's really more about the the characters and kind of like they're interacting with each other. Especially like Deadpool now having, I guess, more people to play off with. Because I feel like Deadpool in the first one was more just like it's a very solo story and it's kind of interacting with just two X-Men and then the audience. Well, this is just like I have a lot more people to play around with.
Yeah.
Especially since, like, I have Cable, which is, like, I guess diametrically opposite to kind of Deadpool, where, like, Cable is a very serious, toughened character, and then Deadpool's like, I don't give a shit, and that's good. Yeah. But, like, for me, in this film, it's very much like, you know how the first film was more, like, I guess, like, more of a comedy and then an action movie second?
Yeah.
I feel like this movie is more of an action movie first and a comedy second. Yeah. Where, like, the action... Okay. Obviously, because it's one of the directors is the guy from who did John Wick. Okay. That's what it says, and I've seen the opening credits.
Oh, okay, yeah.
One of the guys that killed the dog in John Wick. So yeah, it has some really good action as well. So I feel like it has that, but it also has really good comedy elements as well.
Yeah. I mean, this movie is absolutely hilarious. A lot of the kind of areas and scenarios in it, like you can definitely tell that like it does have a big budget from the last film, and it definitely shows, and it definitely benefits from it. I remember reading that like Fox wanted to actually give them a larger budget for the film, but they rejected it because I think it was because like they Fox would therefore get more creative control of it, and I think like minimizing creative control from Fox is a good thing.
Yeah, I think Fox is basically
yeah.
Hey, it's all good. Like,
I mean to Fox, not you. Yeah. You don't create.
I'm not a part of Fox. That's what I'm saying. Like Fox is like in the current few years has done pretty well. Like first Deadpool, Logan obviously is one of those things.
The X-Men, the new X-Men movie.
Yeah, I like them, and that's the thing.
I think Apocalypse is the only one I actually kind of don't like.
I think that one's just very average. Like it's just a 3.5.
Yeah, it's not a bad film.
It just exists. Like it doesn't do anything like extraordinary. You know, that will be like, ooh, I really want to watch that.
Like Days of Future Past is probably my favorite X-Men film, just because it does.
It combines two together as well.
It combines the old with the new. It's written really well. It kind of makes up for the fact that X-Men 3 was really bad.
Yeah.
You know, and you know what, they do some stuff with this movie as well, where they correct some...
Change the timeline. Fixing the timeline.
But we'll get to it. Yeah, so the plot of this movie kind of continues straight on from, you know, the latest, you know, Deadpool... the last Deadpool movie where, you know, Deadpool... He kind of, you know, like, because his job basically becomes being
an assassin.
An assassin, mercenary kind of guy. And we see him, like, just kill a bunch of, like, different, like, targets.
Bad guys, essentially.
Yeah. He basically fails to kill one guy on the day of his, like, anniversary with his wife, who, by the way, is also on Gotham.
By the way, who's also in Firefly, who's, like...
Oh, really?
She's the one of the girls where she's like, I sell my body type of thing. She's an escort, that chick.
Oh, is she the main escort? She the main escort?
Yeah, she's well known in, like, I guess the nerd fandom areas, but yeah, like that's basically, you know.
Oh, man.
Yeah, she's in a lot of things, surprisingly, right?
Well, I was gonna say, I can. The thing is, like, it's been so long since I've seen Firefly, so like, it just didn't. I just didn't put like the connection there. But
you're just like, oh yeah, that girl, you know.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, she's doing a really good job for herself, given like, you know, she's on Gotham.
Yeah.
Which again, like, you know, I've got mixed feelings about it. But you know, we'll talk about Gotham maybe for another podcast.
Yeah, for another time.
But yeah, like, you know, she's really good in this. Like, she's very. But anyways, like, so they go to the anniversary. He goes back to see her at the apartment. And then a bunch of I guess assassins come in to try and kill them, and Deadpool inadvertently kills her. It's very much like, it kind of reminds me of the classic Spider-Man killing all that kind
Like Gwen Stacy thing.
Gwen Stacy thing. It's like he goes to try and save her, but like with a web, and then that leads to like snapping her neck, which was very controversial. People were, no, she didn't die from spiders. Like, no, she 100% died because Spider-Man was, one, inexperienced, two, let his life kind of go way he's way out of his depth. And again, it's like a building moment. As much as people don't like the whole like fridging characters, but I mean, I think like for character growth, it's completely fine. And yeah, like with this, like she dies, and Deadpool's just completely lost.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like the first 20 minutes of this is very serious. That's what I'm saying. It felt like more of an action movie with comedy elements in it rather than just full on comedy.
But I mean, I think the show kind of keeps the comedy consistent throughout. I think like
yeah.
I think like I think probably it seems more like an action movie because of that bigger budget. Yeah, right? Like they got the like they even say in the first Deadpool film that like, oh, we only had enough like budget to do like one or two like fight scenes.
Because I think one of the scripts was they had Deadpool and he had his bag of guns, and you know how he forgot his guns.
He forgot. Yeah,
I think that was the whole thing of just like because they just didn't have the budget.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they just like, fine, it'll just be a sword fight then.
Yeah. And the thing is, I think subsequently it like kind of benefits quite a lot from having that bigger budget, having all those fight scenes, being able to kind of also put the like elements of comedy within that. I think that's the reason why it probably seems like it is more of an action film. But Deadpool has in general, like in the comics at least, it's always been like very, I guess, action-packed, and then it has a comedy elements in it. So I think maybe this film is probably more true to the Deadpool.
Yeah, because I think Deadpool is like, he's somewhat serious. Like when he was first written, he was kind of semi-serious, but like he had comedy elements. Yeah. But now it's like, I guess he's like more of a full clown per se. Yeah, I wasn't gonna say jokers. I'm like, oh, that's a different context when it comes to comic books.
I mean, in DC, Harley Quinn has basically become the DC's version of Deadpool.
There's all that weird fan art of them just kissing and stuff. You're like,
is there of Deadpool and Harley Quinn?
Yeah, because they're kind of the same character archetype, sort of.
Yeah, I guess Deadpool would be self-aware to know that.
Yeah, basically.
And so would she, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah.
This movie, like, it's It does some really good stuff, especially like once again the action is really cool because because that's the thing that first Deadpool script leaked like 2007, 2008, and then obviously it took them like so many years. I was one of those people championing the first Deadpool movie, and like what the leaked first Deadpool script, that action scene on a highway, and it was on a like there's like how people like drive houses. They have a whole house and they drive it. Yeah, there was basically an action scene in that whole house, and that was really cool. And they kind of semi-did it, I guess. It was like on a highway, but it was like with the whole truck.
Yeah, and him going into like the different cars and like and stuff. Yeah.
So they kind of did that, which was really cool. Like once again, good acting, like actor choices, like. Once again, like Josh Brolin being, Thanos, he's also Cable.
Yeah, Cable. Yeah, and they make a reference to it as well. It's really great.
He did really good as Cable because this is like the first time you see Cable in a live action type of thing. And
well, this is the thing, right? Like with Days of Future Past, like you had like some characters from like the future that you kind of see. That's like kind of like akin to like who you would expect to be with Cable, but they didn't have Cable.
Yeah.
The thing that I also kind of found weird is like Cable technically is suffering from like the techno-organic virus, which is like slowly like transforming.
Eating him.
Transforming his body into like a robot, more or less, right? But they don't touch on that at all.
They're just like, he has a cool Winter Soldier arm.
Again, he's got a cool the jokes are great in this film. Like it's very meta, very self-aware. Like they toss a few lines at DC about like him being so serious that maybe he's from the DC universe, but then at the same time like he's giving like his old Marvel like roles and old DC roles like a bit of a like a throw. I really loved at the beginning how like he's got the Logan toy.
And he's like, fuck man, how am I gonna beat dying? Like,
It's like an R-rated film, you know. It's like it's very interesting. Like
there's the in jokes with like being better at the box office than Passion of the Christ. Obviously, I think like some of the best jokes was the one where it's like, who thought of Domino the luck tower? It's probably a guy who can't draw fucking feet. And the fanny pack probably being a reference to like 90s like design of character, comic book design of just like we need pockets. It's like the guy who designs like Final Fantasy stuff, the Tetsuya Nomura guy who does Kingdom Hearts and stuff, where he's like, you know what, every character should have zips.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's like, in the steampunk like kind of style is like straps, leather straps everywhere.
Yeah,
right?
we're just gonna make it more complicated than it really needs to be, but there's no actual function for them.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, like we're continuing on, like with Deadpool, like his wife dies, and he's kind of lost. You have Colossus kind of find him after he blew himself up. Trying to commit suicide to try and like get closer to his wife, but to Vanessa. Yeah, I did realize like he calls her Ness.
Yeah,
and I was like, and it just reminded me of the Super Smash Brothers game.
Like Ness, that's the only Ness I know.
Yeah, it is the only Ness I know really. But
there's Elliot Ness from The Untouchables.
Oh yeah, true. But with this we have the Colossus finds him, collects his body parts. It's really funny that like he was able to regrow everything really quick. Like they didn't have like the gag
regrowing speed. See, like because I'm pretty sure if they did it again, the baby legs.
Yeah, exactly. The baby legs is probably more funnier in. And
that was a very extended joke. Yeah.
It was. I think it went on for a little bit too long. Again, but anyways, So Colossus brings him back to the
X-Mansion.
The X-Mansion. And he's like, hey, you know what? You should join us. You've got a lot of good things going on. You can help us being that he is a mutant. There's a reference to the fact that why is there anyone around here? Where's all the X-Men? And you see a room with like McAvoy and the others just like get close and they're having like a meeting, which is really great. I actually am looking forward to the the new X-Men,
the Dark Phoenix one.
Yeah, the Dark Phoenix.
But apparently there's like new rumors saying that they might not call it Dark Phoenix.
Oh, okay.
Because apparently there's reshoots going on, so I don't know. It's supposed to come out. Like,
that's a shame.
We will see.
Well, yeah. Like I think like the Dark Phoenix. Well, the thing is, the Dark Phoenix saga is a very like classic X-Men story, to the point that they tried to kind of do it in X-Men 3, and it failed.
Yeah.
So I guess they probably have that like looming overhead, like, ooh, don't fuck this up.
Yeah.
And
because if they fuck it up, and then the Marvel or like Disney buys them, they'll be like, shit. We want to do Dark Phoenix again, so we have to do it a third time within 5 years or something.
Yeah. But I mean, hey, that probably wouldn't stop them. Let's face it.
Yeah.
Spider-Man has had like 3 reboots within like.
Yeah, but it'd be like killing Gwen Stacy again.
Well, yeah, but that's fine. Everyone, Uncle Ben dies every time. All right, Bruce Wayne's parents dies every time, and we will see it every time. Anyways,
yeah.
With Deadpool, he basically they go to try and basically stop like a bit of a situation between this like fat New Zealand kind of
he's that guy. Have you ever the only thing he's famous for is the Hunt for the Wilder People.
I haven't seen it.
It was like Sam Neill. It's directed by the guy who did Thor Ragnarok before he was like
Taika Waititi.
Yeah, and it was kind of like a thing where it's
Makes
like
sense. He's also New Zealand.
the fat adopted kid, like he goes to like older family, which is like Sam Neill being like an old grumpy man and like what the fuck do you want, kid? Yeah. He's like, why don't you be my dad? And he's like, no, that's basically the movie in a sense.
Okay, sure.
So yeah, he's probably those are kind of well known for that, and like and yeah, he's like I feel like the kid did an alright job. Like it may be a little bit annoying, but I think that was the whole point of the character.
Well, yeah, he was
supposed to be like kind of like a semi fanboy. You're like, we're friends. It's like, no, we're not freaking friends.
Yeah, we're friends.
We're friends, bro.
Yeah, but so basically he's kind of causing a scene at this kind of I guess adoption agency or
well, it's like it's like kind of a mutant adoption thing, but obviously they do experiments and they try to.
It's like
they're just bad people.
Yeah, like they're doing like mutant conversion.
I think they reference it quite a lot. Pedos.
Pedophiles. Yeah, pedophiles.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, there's a really great line, where they're like, you're friends when you can kill pedophiles together, and I'm like, I mean, you're not wrong.
Good synergy,
Good synergy. But yeah, so he kind of comes to try and negotiate, trying to stop this situation from going, shit up, right? And basically, he kind of realizes, oh, he's being abused, kills one of the counselors, and then like immediately gets stopped, put in jail. They put him in jail.
Yeah.
But they don't put the pedophiles in jail.
It's like real life kind of.
But with the thing, you know, they get taken to the icebox, which is you know, the prison where they have like a bunch of mutants, and they reference like there's like a really big one. A really big prison.
I think Deadpool says it's foreshadowing.
It's foreshadowing.
I feel like the movie does a lot of that, where it's like it references the act. Like there's Act 1 and Act 2. Like when they assemble the X-Force and it's done everything done in chalk or whatever. It says reason for Act 3. There seems to be a lot of that, which like, you know, like narrative for a person who does a lot of narrative stuff. Like I don't mind it.
Yeah,
like,
I think
they're good jokes, or even like being like at the end being like big CGI fight. That's like, you know, it's one of those things where it's like commonly referenced, and I guess especially like superhero genres, where it's like, oh look, another big CGI fight with villains, and at the end of the movie.
Oh no! But what about the superhero
landing? Yeah,
like, oh, this is so impractical.
Hey, at least it comes the good callbacks. You know, it does a comedy though. It's got some good callbacks, like the growing of the legs, jumping, stuff like that. You know, a lot of that good stuff, and like, or even the pants. I think the pants joke came back, but it was very quick, and I'm like, only like maybe a few people got that joke.
Yeah. I know which one you're referring to. But yeah, like, and so he's kind of has to escape with the boy, but he kind of wants to die. You know, because he's like, well, I don't know what my meaning of life is. My wife's dead, like Vanessa's dead, blah blah blah. But then, you know, Cable comes in from the future, and he's trying to kill the kid, and you know, Deadpool's like, oh shit, I can't let him do that. And so the whole movie is kind of, you know, him trying to stop Cable, who's like, you know, directly opposing him. Cable being very serious, and again, like you mentioned, on like I really like. Brolin, he's really great in this film.
He has also like a good voice, but as well, like he can act. He's one of those actors who can act without like saying anything. It doesn't really in his like stance and just what he's staring at.
There's a really great line where like you know, they're in the taxi, and he's like, can you turn that music off? And he's like, oh, what's wrong? What are you, a racist? And it's like, it just keeps going back to Deadpool calling him like a racist.
Well, and like, you killed Black Tom.
Yeah, he killed Black Tom. And the thing, it's really great because like, again, Brolin just acts like you could probably tell like inside he's probably like laughing his head off, but like inside, like, and his acting comes off like, I'm not a pedophile. I'm sorry, I'm not a racist. I'm not a blah blah blah. I'm just like, it's really great. Formation of the X-Force. What did you think of the X-Force? I knew they were all gonna die.
Like I kind of have a theory, but I'm like, because I know the X-Force movie I think is supposed to still kind of happen. It'll be like Deadpool 3 and X-Force. I think they're still trying to make that a movie.
Because I think they got to have like some actual like
people. Because that's the thing. Those mutants that actually died, they're actually like real people. Mutants. Yeah, instead of like, what his name was, Tom. The guy with no powers. His name was like.
Oh, Peter.
Yeah.
Peter. Yeah.
Like obviously, like all of them were real. Just because like they kind of had the same thing of like X-Men, or like in Marvel in the 90s was kind of the same as I guess Pokemon was, where they just basically just made some random references to like, we'll just make this mutant that can do this. We can make a mutants that make like balloons or something. So like those were obviously the stupid mutants, and they got all killed, which was pretty funny. Obviously Domino survived, which is like pretty much a fan favorite and very much well known, like per se in like the X, like the, I guess, Deadpool universe, the X-Force universe. So like, and by the way, she did a really good job. I think her name's Zazie Beetz.
Yeah, I really liked it. Like usually I kind of don't like kind of race swapped, or like just like, I guess
we're gonna swap it for the sake of doing it.
Yeah,
we'll see how we go. There's no real reason to do it.
Yeah. Whereas like, you know, like if sometimes like, you know, it's on like, for example, like Riverdale, right? We won't do our Riverdale review just yet, but like, you know, for example, Veronica is just supposed to be like white, right? Like white with black hair, whereas like in the show, they've given her like a Spanish background, or like a European-esque, I'm pretty sure it's Spanish, background, which, you know, kind of cements her more to be like, she's like a Christian, she's like, a Catholic, and like, she's, you know, got that Spanish heritage, so they talk Spanish, and like, her dad's part of like the Spanish, like it gives them a little bit more depth, when sometimes you add stuff like that, whereas like, with this, it's just like, I kind of liked, the fact that she like, in the comics, like Domino is like, this kind of like, pale white, like as if she's wearing like paint.
Like basically like Joker-esque.
Yeah, and she's in one of her eyes is like like black, right? Like the outside like of her skin around one of her eyes is black. Whereas in this, it's like she's African American, so she has black skin. But she's like, at least from what the looks of it is, she's suffering a little bit of vitiligo, which is the same condition that Michael Jackson has. Very common like. I think it's an autoimmune disease that like a lot of people have. Like, it's usually like patches here and there, but she's got one like around her eye, so it's white. So it's kind of like the opposite of the Doma, and I kind of really like that. And also her acting's really good in this as well.
I feel like they needed like more of her, and that's probably like a good thing where it's like I wanted more of Cable and I wanted more of Domino, and that obviously that's just the strength of the characters where you just wanted more from them. And obviously we probably will in Deadpool 3 or X-Force or whatever it may be. Even like they even did it really well of like, I guess, thematically making the luck ability like come to fruition, where it's like a weird like Final Destination thing where it's like random stuff will just like randomly happen and stuff like that. And I like even like the setup for a lot of the stuff, like even like when the prisoners were escaping or like transferring, and then like when she used that luck ability, Cable was gonna shoot like a rocket or whatever, and she cut the brake line. I saw it for the second time. I didn't see that at first. I'm like, oh, so that's why the brake line was cut. It wasn't just randomly let's break the thing like that. So that was interesting as well.
Well, yeah, like that was the thing. Like a lot of this movie, like with her character, with Domino's character, like. It'd be nice to at least see like how does the luck get activated? Is it like always on? Like then like she shouldn't have any issues doing anything at all. But like clearly like when she's fighting against Brolin, like Cable, like in the car, like she doesn't always have the upper hand. Like she like maybe gets on top and does like the classic. You see, and there's one thing my friend who I watched it with said. He told me that she's way more interesting than Black Widow, and I'm like 100% agree. Not even like even
did they say she's the Black Widow?
Yeah, that's they call her the Black Widow, and it's like it's true. She is like she's already better because like they took away like what is it in the second Avengers they gave Black Widow like that cool visually cool like electric suit with the cool electric.
It serves a purpose. It does.
It does, and it looks cool. Like it looks cool having like the side of her like body has those like kind of electric like racing stripes, right? Yeah. It visually looks cool as opposed to like cool just black suit. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
By the way, everyone looks really great in this film.
Like even like costume design really well. Like. Even with the X-Force, as little as you see them, at least they got some really good like design choices. Like I forgot the guy, but the guy with the long hair, and he's like, "I'm better at you at everything, and I'm from a planet."
Yeah.
Like I like the design of like his helmet and his long hair, and
then
even Juggernaut, like
well that's a big thing, right?
Yeah.
Where, like
literally a big thing.
Yeah, well that's the thing. Like the Juggernaut is a pretty big. X-Men character, like someone who you would see on like a mainstream DC movie, right?
Marvel movie.
Oh, sorry, Marvel movie. Sorry, DC X-Men movie is what I mean, right? Like maybe he should be on like one of those Days of Future Past-ish kind of movies. But they got him for Deadpool, which I thought was really cool because they reveal like that's the person who the little kid was like making friends with in the jail, and I really liked that he was in it, and then he poses a threat to obviously like Colossus, who later comes in to fight him. Like he's the Juggernaut, bitch.
He's the Juggernaut, bitch.
I was actually really
I really wish they did that line because that would have been a good like reference sort of, and
it
kind of suits the tone as well.
Because it's a like I'm the Juggernaut, bitch. It's a great line from X-Men 3.
Yeah, that's like probably one of the only redeeming things from that movie. So
the Juggernaut, yeah, exactly. Oh, but they make this Juggernaut. This Juggernaut just like destroys the one from that movie.
He acts way more like an actual villain. But like rips Deadpool in half, and he's huge, and
he's massive compared to the last one. And it's great. And so obviously they escape, and Cable kind of finally like comes to them and is like, well, okay, so this is the reason why I have to kill him, because he kind of kills like
my family in the future,
and kills a bunch of people in the future. And you see like his ashy teddy bear, which I thought was really cool. I was like, oh, okay. The thing with Cable, he's kind of like that character who's like perpetually in trouble because of the past. Like, you know, in you know, the original you know, comics, it's like it's because of the techno-organic virus, right? That's the reason why, you know, Cable.
Well, Deadpool, like, I mean, like, Cable in and of itself is a weird character in comic book iterations.
Mm-hmm.
There's somewhere he had the you know, because obviously his origins is like he's a semi-clone / like kid of Jean Grey and Cyclops.
Yeah, that's correct.
So that's why it's like it's very weird.
I don't know if he's a clone. Is he a clone?
I think there's one version where he's a clone, but I think like there's a lot of that random stuff. But yeah, like but yeah, he did a good job. Like, I want to see more of Cable, and obviously we will. You know, because like they didn't really touch on so much on his powers per se. Because he has the time travel thing, but aside from that, like...
It is pretty great when they're like, I only have 2 charges.
It's like, that's just poor writing.
Yeah, that's just poor writing. Like, yeah, it's like, yeah, it is, but it's like, again... It's
Which,
like,
once again, they do fix, so it kind of, like, fixes the whole thing. But
we'll get to that in a
yeah,
minute,
but, like, that's the thing. They didn't really necessarily touch on what Cable can do, and basically, you just kind of make it, like...
Super strong boy.
He's super strong, but at the same time, he can kind of make, like, any gun, like, into a thing. Like, he can... Then they kind of showed it in, like, 1 or 2 scenes where it's like... I can make this and this together. I can do a rocket launcher with this together.
It's kind of like he's like the MacGyver of.
It's once again, it's very 90s where it's like, let's just make this cool villain, like, you know, do this thing, you know.
Yeah, and yeah, you know, it all kind of comes to a head. Like, you know, they work together to try and stop New Zealand kid from killing someone, because that's basically the turning point for him, like the point of no return for him. You know, if he does it, he's going to go down that path. He's going to kill Cable. And it kind of leads to, you know, Deadpool kind of sacrificing himself and dying. But then Cable kind of goes back in time and saves him using the coin. I really like the throwback to the coin.
Once again, it's like... Because usually movies do that and, like, it's very obvious, but that was not obvious, the whole coin thing. Because usually they're just like, we have this device. Yeah, wink. But, like, in this, it was more like...
It's one of the things that, okay, so Deadpool is gives Vanessa like a coin from the arcade, right? Which is what their first date, the skee ball from their first date, and basically during the fight between Cable and Deadpool at the jail, Cable takes the coin and is like, well, I'm going to use this. You know, keep it as a memento of like this event or killing you or whatever. But then he uses it to save Deadpool at the end. Again, like it's a really good what is it? Chekhov's gun? Yeah. Yeah,
Chekhov's gun. You know, and like even then, like I like the scene, but there's like music playing from that was a good. I like that. You know. It was very emotional. It was more emotional than I thought it was going to be. I'm like, yeah.
The other part I actually really liked is, like, you know, when I think, like, they're in the explosion and you see Deadpool's suit goes from...
red to black.
Red to grey. And that's actually a classic Deadpool suit colour as well. So I really like...
So that was a really good throwback. Like, you got alternate... Like, you got a variant cover in there.
Yeah, you see, like, it's great. It's really cool, like, all the stuff they do with the film. It all kind of gets wrapped up. You know, Deadpool manages to stop, you know, show that, oh, well, there are good things, and he stops the New Zealand kid from becoming...
Just New Zealand kid for now.
Well, he's a New Zealand kid.
Yeah, well, what do you know?
Well, I haven't seen that other... Where the Wild Things Are?
The Hunt for the Wilder People?
Ah, man, Where the Wild Things Are. Same thing, man. But no, but yeah, like, he convinces him, oh yeah, there's good things in the world. And yeah, saves Cable's family, but Cable saves him, so now he's stuck. Yeah. And, you know, there is a really popular, I think it's like 90s run of comics where it's Deadpool and Cable. So that's why it's like a classic... Those two are like a classic combo together.
Yeah, because like one's serious and one isn't. It's like a very odd couple, like, you know, good stuff, and that's what I like about it, and that's what it kind of sets up for the future to be, hopefully.
And you know what's really great? I like how
Yukio.
Yukio is great, but the thing that's also great is, like, from Deadpool 1, they mentioned the fact, like, we're gonna get Cable in the next film, and they did, and it's great.
Yeah.
They didn't make any promises this time, but, you know, you do see, like, you know, later on in the end credits, they do end up fixing the time machine, which Deadpool uses to many hilarious effects. I don't know, do you have a particular favorite thing that he does, like, when he goes back in time?
I think mine was, like, I guess, fourth wall break of Ryan Reynolds in Green Lantern scripts. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
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 That's my scene as well. I don't really want to spoil too much about the after credit endings because as much as we spoiled the movie, the credit endings at least we'll let you guys watch that and you'll love it. It's really great. But yeah, what did you think overall? Do you think it was better than the first movie?
I think it pretty much is on the same level. Maybe a little bit higher. It's really hard to tell at the current moment.
You see, this is the thing. When a sequel movie does well, because of the first film, I usually give them the same rating because, especially if I really like them. And I think with this film, like it is good because of that first film. It sets up everything.
Yeah, the first Deadpool sets up like a lot of the powers. Like I went to the cinema with one of my friends who didn't even watch the first one. I basically just gave him a rundown, being like, Deadpool, he has cancer. They screwed up. He's got regenerative powers, and he's a funny guy. You know, that was enough to suffice for like the rest of the film. But that's what that first film was kind of generally all about. You know, there's like. And once again, you get more, obviously, if you've watched the first one, because you can see the relationship between Negasonic Teenage Warhead, which you don't see much, I guess, in this movie, as well as, like, Colossus being, like, there's, like, a weird semi-bromance thing going on. With the say anything scene where he's got the boombox on the top of the head and...
Yeah, and then when he's carrying Deadpool later in the film, So
there's a lot of random callbacks that I really like. So, and that's what, like, good sequels should do. They should be, like, a callback to something or, like... You know, reference something that was already happening and kind of really make those like long-term fans, you know, get a little bit more out of it.
Yeah. So yeah, overall, it's a really good film. Highly recommend everybody to watch it. And yeah, like that's all.
That's what I'm kind of sad. You know, like if that Disney thing goes ahead, you know, like obviously they're not going to recast Deadpool, but like it will be different. I think you'll see.
Yeah, maybe, but maybe they know that like okay, like their demographic is like R. So we have to kind of, and it's a hard R, you know.
I think there's a lot of kids being like, "Hey, can we see Deadpool?" And he's like,
yeah. I remember when I watched the first Deadpool movie, there was like a family of like a mother, a dad, and like a little girl, and like immediately the dad was putting the hands over the eyes of the little girl, and I was just like, "Come on, man! It even says
the ratings."
Man, what do you expect?
There's like a good like 2-minute scene in that first film where they have sex for a very long time. Like
yeah, exactly. Like it could be that very scene. I personally loved the fact that in the first Deadpool movie they had the trailer that kind of made it out to be like a romantic comedy. That's my favorite.
Well, that's what I love about like Deadpool in a sense where it's like the marketing for the movies are always really good. It's not just poster, trailer 1, trailer 2.
Have you seen the Celine Dion?
Yeah, Celine Dion thing. You know,
that's great.
That was interesting. Even Ryan Reynolds went on I think Korean thing, and he sang the song that was played, like the Annie song. I'm like, yeah, that was really funny. That's a sly bit of marketing type of thing. I'm like, I know.
It's good. It's a really good film. Yeah, like I think as you were saying, like you enjoyed it more than the Avengers. I think especially because we do have a familiarity with the comics and whatnot. This film just was like, yeah, like maybe some things gonna happen, but you couldn't predict like everything in this film. Like everything was just like very new, very fresh, and yeah, like I really like this film.
Yeah, they did a really good job.
I think I gave like Deadpool with like a 9 or something. So yeah, this film.
It did like that movie in the middle of like that was like 2016. So like in the middle of like Batman v Superman and Civil War, like you needed that break with Deadpool, and I think like Deadpool 2 follows it up and hopefully maybe we'll see, and hopefully maybe we'll see like in the future some X-Force type of stuff because you got Cable, Domino, and whoever.
Yeah. Whoever else they can. Maybe they'll be able to squeeze in a few more people now that maybe Disney owns stuff. But we'll see. The future's bright.
Or some Brad Pitt, but who knows. So yeah, that will be us for this week. Once again, you can always reach us at pancakeparlay@gmail.com. You can also find us at Stitcher. You can also find us at Libsyn, as well as Marketing Movies. We split segment to segment, and of course iTunes as well. So until next week, see ya.
Gotcha.